I don't care how many zeros you put on that check. My daughter isn't for sale. David's words hung in the air like thunder, silencing the lavish penthouse as the billionaire heiress's smile crumbled. If you're moved by stories of parental love that money can't buy, hit that like button and subscribe to see more real-life tales that remind us what truly matters. The first time David Mitchell held his newborn daughter Lily in his arms, he made a silent promise. Standing in the hospital room, still wearing his faded work uniform, the exhaustion of a 12-hour shift vanished as he gazed at her tiny face. His wife Emma's hand felt cold in his as the monitors beeped a grim rhythm beside her bed. The doctors had warned them about complications, but nothing prepared him for what came next. "Take care of her," Emma whispered, her voice barely audible. "Promise me you'll never let anything come between you." Those were the last words she spoke before slipping away, leaving David alone with their daughter and a future he'd never imagined. The following months blurred together in a haze of grief, sleepless nights, and the constant struggle to keep their small world from falling apart. David's job as a mechanic barely covered the bills, but he refused to give up. He learned to braid hair while watching YouTube tutorials at 3 a.m. He memorized the names of Lily's stuffed animals and the exact temperature she liked her oatmeal. He became both mother and father, his heart expanding to fill the void Emma left behind. By Lily's 5th birthday, they had settled into a rhythm. Their apartment was small but filled with laughter. David had been promoted to head mechanic at the garage, and though money remained tight, they managed. Lily was thriving, bright, curious, and with Emma's infectious smile that sometimes made David's chest ache with both joy and sorrow. It was a routine checkup that changed everything. The pediatrician noticed something unusual in Lily's blood work. More tests followed, revealing a rare genetic condition that explained her frequent fatigue and bruising, symptoms David had attributed to normal childhood. The diagnosis wasn't immediately life-threatening, but it required specialized treatment and monitoring that their insurance wouldn't fully cover. David took on extra shifts, sold his prized vintage motorcycle, and even moved them to a smaller apartment. Still, the medical bills mounted. He kept a brave face for Lily, reading her bedtime stories about brave princesses who overcame impossible odds, all while wondering how he would overcome his own. Alexandra Winters first appeared at the garage on a Tuesday afternoon. Her Bentley seemed out of place among the usual vehicles, much like she seemed out of place in her designer clothes and perfectly manicured nails. David was assigned to handle the minor repair, and he noticed how she watched him work with unusual intensity. "You have a daughter," she said suddenly, gesturing to the photo taped inside his toolbox. David nodded, surprised. "Lily. She's 5. She has your eyes," Alexandra commented, her voice carrying an emotion David couldn't quite place. When she returned the next day to pick up her car, she lingered, asking questions about Lily that seemed oddly specific. David answered politely but briefly, uncomfortable with the stranger's interest. He didn't think much of it until she appeared at the garage again a week later, this time without her car. "I'd like to speak with you privately, Mr. Mitchell," she said, her tone businesslike. "It's about your daughter." Alarm bells rang in David's mind, but curiosity won out. They sat in a nearby coffee shop where Alexandra revealed who she truly was, the heiress to the Winters pharmaceutical empire, worth billions. Her company had been researching Lily's condition for years. "Your daughter's genetic profile is unique," she explained. "The specific mutation she carries could be the key to developing treatments for thousands of children." Relief washed over David. If this wealthy woman wanted to help fund research that could help Lily and others, it would be a miracle. But Alexandra's next words froze the coffee in his cup. "I want to adopt your daughter, Mr. Mitchell. I'm prepared to offer you $5 million. David stared at her, certain he had misheard. "Excuse me? My medical team could provide Lily with the best care available. She would want for nothing, the finest schools, opportunities you simply cannot provide." Alexandra opened her designer handbag and slid a check across the table. "This is just the beginning. There would be additional payments to ensure your comfort. The amount written on the check made David's head spin. It was more money than he would earn in several lifetimes. Money that could secure his future, pay off debts, perhaps even fund research to help other children with Lily's condition. Why? He managed to ask. Why Lily specifically? Alexandra's perfect composure slipped for just a moment. My husband and I cannot have children. We've tried everything. And now? She straightened her shoulders. This is a business proposition, Mr. Mitchell. One that benefits everyone involved. David looked at the check again, then at the photo of Lily in his wallet, her gap-toothed smile as she held up a finger-painted masterpiece. He remembered the night before when she had fallen asleep against his chest while he read her favorite story, her small hand clutching his shirt. I don't care how many zeros you put on that check, he said quietly. My daughter isn't for sale. Alexandra's expression hardened. Don't be foolish. Think about what's best for Lily. Can you provide her with the medical care she needs? The education she deserves? What she needs is her father, David replied, standing up. And what she deserves is to be loved, not purchased. He left the coffee shop without looking back, the untouched check still on the table. That night, he held Lily a little tighter as they read her bedtime story, grateful for what they had rather than fearful of what they lacked. But Alexandra Winters wasn't accustomed to hearing the word no. The following weeks brought escalating pressure, calls from expensive lawyers suggesting David was denying his daughter proper care, visits from social workers responding to anonymous concerns about Lily's welfare, and finally, a formal custody challenge citing David's financial instability as grounds for removal. David was terrified. He couldn't afford legal representation that could match Alexandra's team of attorneys. The garage owner, sympathetic to David's situation, connected him with his brother-in-law, a semi-retired lawyer named Frank who agreed to help for a nominal fee. She's powerful, but she's not right, Frank assured David as they prepared for the first hearing. No judge is going to take a child from a loving parent just because someone else has more money. David wasn't so sure. The night before the hearing, he sat on the edge of Lily's bed long after she had fallen asleep, memorizing the curve of her cheek and the sound of her breathing, terrified it might be one of their last nights together. The courtroom was intimidating. Alexandra sat with her legal team, immaculately dressed and confident. David felt out of place in his only suit, worn at the elbows and slightly too short at the wrists. Frank patted his shoulder reassuringly as the judge entered. The hearing began with Alexandra's lead attorney painting a picture of the opportunities awaiting Lily in the Winters household: private tutors, experimental treatments for her condition, financial security beyond imagination. They presented expert witnesses who testified about the advantages of such resources for a child with Lily's medical needs. When it was David's turn, he had no experts, no impressive statistics. He had only the truth. Your Honor, he began, his voice steadier than he felt, I'm not a wealthy man. I can't promise Lily private jets or mansions. But every night since she was born, I've been there to kiss her goodnight. Every morning, I'm there when she wakes up. When she's sick, I'm the one who holds her hand in the doctor's office. When she's happy, I'm the one who celebrates with her. He pulled out a small, worn notebook from his pocket. This is where I keep track of her medication schedule, her favorite foods, which stuffed animal she needs on which day. I know that she likes the crusts cut off her sandwiches but only on Tuesdays. I know that she's afraid of thunderstorms but pretends not to be because she thinks it makes me proud. David looked directly at Alexandra. Ms. Winters is offering Lily things I can't give her. But I'm already giving Lily something Ms. Winters can't buy, a father who would do anything for her, who knows her heart, who puts her happiness above his own every single day. The courtroom fell silent. Even Alexandra's composed expression wavered. The judge studied David thoughtfully. Mr. Mitchell, if you could provide your daughter with the financial resources Ms. Winters is offering, would you? In a heartbeat, Your Honor, David answered honestly. but not at the cost of being her father. After a brief recess, the judge returned with his decision. He acknowledged the genuine concern for Lily's welfare from both parties but ruled firmly that the child's best interest lay in remaining with her father. The financial disparity between the households was not sufficient grounds for removal from a loving, stable parent. Alexandra's face flushed with anger as she gathered her things. Outside the courtroom, she approached David one last time. "You're making a mistake," she said coldly. "I could have given her everything." David looked at her with unexpected compassion. "No, Ms. Winters. Not everything." As Alexandra walked away, Frank nudged David. "You know, her company's research into Lily's condition is legitimate. There might be a way to help Lily and other children without selling your soul." In the following months, an unexpected development unfolded. Alexandra's pharmaceutical company announced a new research initiative focused on Lily's rare condition, with a program offering free treatment to affected children from low-income families. Lily was among the first participants. David never spoke directly with Alexandra again, but he received a brief note with the program acceptance letter: "She has your heart. That's worth more than millions." 2 years later, Lily's condition was stable, managed by treatments developed through the research program. David had been promoted to manager at the garage, providing them with better insurance and a slightly larger apartment. Life wasn't perfect, but it was theirs. One evening as David tucked Lily into bed, she asked a question that caught him off guard. "Daddy, are we rich?" David thought about the question carefully. "Why do you ask, sweetheart?" "Zoe at school said only rich people can be happy," Lily explained, her brow furrowed with concern. David smiled, sitting on the edge of her bed. "There are different kinds of rich, Lily. Some people have lots of money and big houses. But we're rich in a different way." "How?" she asked, genuinely curious. "We're rich in love," he said, tapping her chest gently. "And that's the kind that matters most. No one can take it away, and it never runs out." Lily considered this seriously before breaking into a smile. "Then we must be the richest people in the whole world." David kissed her forehead, his heart full. "Yes, Lily Bug. We absolutely are." As the years passed, David occasionally wondered about Alexandra Winters. He learned through news articles that she had eventually adopted 2 children with medical needs similar to Lily's, providing them with both her fortune and, from what he could tell, genuine love. Her company's research program had helped hundreds of families and was expanding globally. Sometimes the most valuable lessons come from unexpected teachers. For Alexandra, it had taken a mechanic's simple refusal to show her that parenthood wasn't a transaction but a transformation, not something to be purchased but something to be earned through sacrifice and unconditional love. And for David, the challenge had reinforced what he'd known all along, that in a world that often measured worth in dollars and cents, the true measure of wealth was the love that filled their small apartment each night as he read Lily her bedtime story, secure in the knowledge that some things truly were priceless. If this story touched your heart, remember to like and subscribe for more powerful reminders of what truly matters in life. Sometimes the richest people aren't those with the fullest bank accounts, but those with the fullest hearts.